This podcast is part of the Loosely Connected Network. Visit www.thelooselyconnected.com for more great podcast networks, Twitch streams, YouTube channels, and more.
I love Power Club.
Come with me if you want to live.
I love Power Club.
No time for time travel.
Welcome to the No Time for Time Travel podcast, where we're a podcast for nerds by nerds. My name is Tony, and joining me this week is Kwok from Sweden.
Hello.
And our special guest this week is Nick from the Gamers Without Borders podcast.
Hello, hailing from the UK, so we're very international this week.
Yes. So we are a podcast for nerds by nerds, and we usually choose a topic to talk about for the topic of the episode. And the topic this week, Kwok, you want to mention it?
I was going to ask you about it because I forgot what I had said.
Nick, do you remember it?
Well, it was something along the lines of like whether games have got better or worse objectively over time.
Oh yeah,
yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's going to be our topic this week. But before we get started, let's talk to Nick a little bit. So, Nick, you want to just tell the listeners about yourself and your podcast?
Yeah. Okay. So, if any of you guys who don't know me, I'm Nick. I do the Gamers Without Borders podcast, which is a podcast about games and films, kind of bits and pieces. Kind of a lot like this. Kind of, we do a lot of general nerd culture stuff. I do it with Judge Greg, who also is known for the Hero Talk podcast. He's part of the Enthusiasts, and we're all part of the Loosely Connected Network. We are famously terrible for our inconsistent release schedule. That is entirely on me. I'm in like the busiest period of my entire life at the moment, so I don't really have time to do my own podcast. Greg himself actually asked, why am I doing this podcast and not doing my own podcast? Because the answer is it's much less effort to guest on a podcast than actually make one yourself, as I'm sure Tony will attest to. But, so yeah, we are hoping to get some episodes out in the very near future. You can follow us on Twitter at GWBPod. And I will plug myself. I'll plug myself properly at the end as well.
Yeah, you know what's pretty funny is that Judge Greg said that, but I remember there was a period of time where Real Hero Talk had no episode releases, and then Judge Greg was on like 6 or 7 episodes of other podcasts.
And fun fact that me and Greg did the episode of Hero Talk for Assassin's Creed, and that took about 4 months to actually come out. Because we recorded it, and I didn't see it, and I was like, Greg, did we actually record this? Did something happen? And he was like, no, I just haven't got around to it. So, Greg, you're just as bad as me, and I have a much better excuse. I graduate college in like a month.
So, with your powers combined, no wonder it's delayed.
Yep. I think it's been like months probably since our last episode.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Given that we started out as a weekly podcast, that really gives an impression of how bad we've got.
Yeah, I think you guys are at 47 episodes.
Yes.
And you started in 2016.
Yes. Oh, that's the amount of new podcasts, yourself included, that have come up much later and already have more episodes than us is testament to just how bad we are.
Hey, but we love your podcast, so I'm
good. Thank you.
I still listen to every episode.
Yeah, we have such a nice community, and your guys are so great, and you part for the fact that we are pretty damn terrible. So thank you for that.
It was funny though, because like I remember hearing you on One Track Gamers for a while, and then after we started this podcast, I think it wasn't too long after that you guys released one episode of after a long break, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is what his podcast is about.
Yeah, this is what we do. I don't just sit around on Twitter sending gifts to people. I do kind of have other stuff to do. Yeah. It's just been my schedule, really. That's the main thing. Like, if I could do an episode every week, I honestly would, but I don't have the time. I envy you guys for having the time to do it. But
you're saying you were graduating uni soon?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's exciting.
Yeah, I've got like exams in my last exams in like 2 weeks. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, trying to sort my life out, which isn't fun. Being an adult is hard. Okay? Don't do it, kids. Just stay a kid forever. You'll be fine.
That's what I do. I don't do adult things like pay bills.
I won't dwell on it for obvious reasons, but despite the fact I'm supposed to be an adult, I took an entire day off just to go see Infinity War. So,
hey, I did that too.
Yeah, worth it.
Totally worth it. And Quack has not seen it yet, so no spoilers.
Of course I won't say anything, but yeah, it was good. I will say more at a future date.
I'll let you know once I watch it, then you guys could try to.
Well, I mean, do you know about like Quack's opinions about superhero movies?
Not really. Because I've been busy. I haven't been good at catching up with podcasts, so I have missed your last few episodes.
Oh, okay. So Quack,
in short, I don't care.
To be fair, given that we are like even just with Marvel, we're like 20 films in. I don't blame you. To be fair,
yeah, it's getting a little bit saturated in the superhero world. So I'm like, nah. Like even I think yesterday I barely caught up and finally watched Black Panther.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Now I'm caught up, but it's like,
Yeah. It's all right. I'm one of the 5 people left in the world that still watches Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So.
Oh man, I was like a super fan of that show, and then I took a break on season 2. I came back on season 3 or 4, and I stopped in season. I stopped at the Ghost Rider arc. Like after that was.
Oh no! So that's season 4. It's quite recent.
Yeah,
because season 5 is going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been around for a while. They just went past 100 episodes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But it's just everyone says like the first season or like half season is really bad. Like it's really difficult to get through, but they kind of really grew out and into their own thing, and it's really good. I'm just ashamed they're not part of the MCU proper anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're just like awkwardly referencing the movies.
Yeah, like there was a part of my brain that was like, even though it's been in none of the publicity, they're going to turn up at some point in one of the Avengers films, surely, and just nothing. Like it's. Who knows? I'm still holding out hope for Avengers 4 that maybe, just maybe. But,
yeah, I am too, but I'm not going to hold my breath though. So,
and it's like, let's get Daredevil in there as well, and all that lot.
Yeah, you would think with like how big of a movie Avengers Infinity War is, with all the things going on, then they would show up, but they
well, it's the problem of it. It's that classic thing of I think this like they're just really paranoid that you can't put characters in a film that you can't guarantee that your audience hasn't seen. Like, if you put maybe not specifically Phil Coulson because he was in previous films, but if you put any of the other Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters into the films and you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you'll go, who the hell are these guys? And they can't give those characters an origin in the films because it's already been done. So like that's why they won't do it.
Yeah, but they have like cameos all the time where like you don't even know who the heck it is.
Yeah, I don't know. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a contract legal side to it. That like I think TV, like Marvel TV and Marvel Studios films are slightly different bits, I think.
Oh, they hate each other because Kevin Feige runs the film division and was it Ike Perlmutter? He runs the TV ones, and they hate each other. So,
well, yeah, because I think when like the MCU first started, they were much more together, and that's why the crossover between the TV and the films was much closer. And then they kind of broke away. I think they might have swapped jobs actually, like swapped who was head of which, and that's why they're not connected anymore. Because apparently Ike Perlmutter is a bit difficult to work with.
Oh yeah, because I think Kevin Feige used to be under Ike, and then he complained to Disney, so they took him out and then gave his own. So he answered directly to Disney. Yeah. So then they don't work together anymore. So that caused the whole crossover thing to end.
But yeah, I do know what you mean. Like, I can't think of the last time I went to the cinema for a non-superhero film. Like, they are everywhere now.
So,
what was the last movie you saw?
Based on that conversation, it sounds like it's all Disney's fault.
Oh.
Yeah, kind of.
Wait, Quack, what was the last movie you saw that was not a superhero movie?
Ooh. The Greatest Showman.
Oh, okay. That's recent. Very recent.
Yeah.
I
think mine was Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
How was that one?
I personally really liked it, but I was always going to be really biased going into that film because I like Tomb Raider in general, and I like the kind of the new series of Tomb Raider games, which is obviously what they're basing it on. And like it's a video game film. It's like it was never going to be a massive blockbuster, but in terms of video game films, it's one of the better ones. Like it's actually high quality.
would you say that it did a good service to the fans?
Yes, as a big fan, I think it had the right balance of references that the fans would get, but it didn't shove them in your face. Apart from one right at the end that was in the trailers, was unnecessary and clearly designed to be put in the trailers. Like, there are enough references there that fans of the series would go, "Oh, that's what that's there for." But if you hadn't played the games, I think it's still an enjoyable action film.
Yeah, actually,
is it based off of like any particular series of the game, or is it just the Tomb Raider, the series in general?
Well, yeah, the last two Tomb Raider games made by Square Enix, which are Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider, it merges elements from both of those. So it's like it's the setting of the first game with the villain of the second game, and kind of elements mixed together. So yeah, it is very much drawn from the games, and certain scenes in that film are deliberately like shot for shot of the cutscenes in the game. So
yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it, but I was always going to be quite biased, so.
Cool. I was going to say, like, when I watched it, I didn't even notice, because I didn't play the new Tomb Raider games.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that they were, like, exactly the same.
Yeah.
But then I looked up some of the video game footage, and one of the scenes was, like, exactly scene by scene the same. But not playing the game, it was still a really cool, cool section of the movie. So
and I'm excited because the third game in the new trilogy just got a release date, so I'm pretty happy.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like if the movie had like a mini trailer for the game, like in a movie form? Would you like it that it's a spoiler, or is it more of a spoiler, or is it more like, oh, that's a cool thing they did?
Yeah, I don't think the film spoils the game or vice versa, because while it takes a lot of elements, it's different enough that it kind of tells its own story. Like, it does make me laugh that, without saying it explicitly, the major plot point of kind of the major twist at the end is taken directly from Uncharted 1, which I think is kind of hilarious because everyone always compares Uncharted and Tomb Raider. So, yeah, which is kind of odd.
Cool. Sorry, I don't really know what to say about
Tomb Raider. Fine. That's fine.
All right, so let's move on to the news, which I don't really have much news, but I guess I don't know. So, did you guys hear about the Alison Mack thing? The Alison Mack. She was.
Oh, is she the small Will? Yeah. Yeah.
No, not really.
This is a weird story. I don't know enough about it to comment on it properly.
Okay. I mean, I'll just say the headline, which was Alison Mack was in a cult, and she was trying to recruit actresses so that they can be part of the cult. That's all.
Yeah. It's even weirder than that if you look into it, but here is probably not the place for a discussion about this.
Yeah. I just wanted to say the headline. If you guys are interested, you can look it up. Let's see. And then there was, so obviously Infinity War was released last week.
Yep.
As of right now, recording today, Saturday, they have hit over $1 billion.
Oh, have they crossed it? Oh, I hadn't heard that. Oh.
Yeah. So they are they now beat the record for the fastest movie took to get to 1 billion. So, yeah. The previous record was held by I think The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I think that might be the highest grossing film of all time at the moment.
Yeah. So, and then the last thing I have for news. Well, actually, do you guys have any news items?
Just trying to think if I've seen anything major in the gaming world. Everyone's raving about God of War, but that's not really news per se.
Oh yeah.
I have not played it, but I might buy that when my exams are finished.
Yeah, John Layola just streamed it yesterday.
Oh wow! I didn't know John was streaming.
Yeah,
John, why are you streaming and not telling me? Well, it was probably to be fair, it was probably like the middle of the night for me, but still.
It was like 6 a.m. for you guys.
Oh damn! No, John, I love you, but not that much.
Yeah, no, he streamed it. It looked pretty fun. So.
Yeah, I've watched kind of the first like hour of it in other streams, and it looks really good because like third-person action games are definitely my genre, and like it's such a minor thing, but I love the fact that Kratos' axe flies back to you like Mjolnir does for Thor. Just seeing that made me so happy. I was like, yes, I've got to play this now.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said in the stream too. It's like, hey, that looks like Mjolnir.
Yeah. And given that we're probably never going to get a decent Marvel video game, I'll just settle for that.
Yeah, that's true. I was like, he's also a god, so this is very much like Thor.
Yeah, and I know that this God of War in particular is set around Norse mythology as opposed to Greek mythology. So yeah,
probably have to fight Thor.
Yeah, I was gonna say Thor will probably turn up at some point.
Yeah. The last news item I had is actually kind of old by now. It was I think a week or two ago. But last week we didn't talk about it. So it is about the new Sony Venom trailer.
Oh yeah.
So what do you guys think about that?
Wait, there's a newer one?
Yeah. No, it's the one that you saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The one where you actually see like his face at the end.
I mean, I thought that one part where they showed the suit and they said we are Venom, that was like the best part of the trailer.
Yeah.
And then everything else was just like, nope, not gonna do it for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Tom Hardy's accent as Eddie Brock. I don't know what accent he's going for, but yeah, sounds a bit weird.
Yeah, he sounds like a little kid. That really bothered me.
Well, no, he sounds like someone trying to do a Southern American accent that isn't American, like trying to do like a stereotypical Southern accent. It's
yeah,
but yeah. And do we know definitively whether this is part of the MCU or not?
I don't know.
Because I've heard conflicting things. Some people say that Tom Holland, aka Spider-Man, is in this, but obviously he's not in the trailers.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the trailer didn't seem like it's connected at all.
No, and I thought that Sony was still trying to make like a Spider-Verse and do loads of films. I don't know.
I think they might just have this. They might see how this one does first, and then like if it does well, then they're going to be like, okay, we're going to start linking everything together. Yeah, which then is going to be terrible.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hilarious if this is terrible because I know Spider-Man's not the main character, but it's basically a Spider-Man film, and basically Marvel proved that you can do a good Spider-Man film, and whereas Sony's have been pretty hit and miss, like. The Tobey Maguire ones are decent, and the Andrew Garfield ones are terrible.
And it sucks, because Andrew Garfield's such a good actor.
Is he though? Really?
Yeah, he is. Like, if you watch his other stuff, he's actually good.
What else has he been in? What is he known for, apart from Spider-Man?
Well, right now, the first thing that comes to mind is Hacksaw Ridge.
Oh, okay.
Wait, was it Hacksaw Ridge? Or was it the other one? Dunkirk? Or maybe Dunkirk? It's one of those two. I don't remember which one.
No, he wasn't in Dunkirk. I watched that recently.
Oh, okay. Then it was probably Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then he's in a lot of, like, movies in which you have to act really well, and he does that really well. So,
fair enough.
It's kind of weird that the Amazing Spider-Man series wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Why not say one word? Symbiote.
Oh god, let's not go down. Let's not go down this road again.
Oh yeah, I asked you guys too. I was like, because me, Kwok, and them were like just talking about like, is this how you pronounce it? And I was thinking maybe it's a regional thing, maybe because that person's from like their accent says symbiote instead of symbiote.
Yeah, well, I always think it's symbiote, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's what the cartoons had too back when we were growing up. It was symbiote.
It's a real word. A real scientific word.
Yeah, it is a real thing. Like,
yeah,
yeah. I'm not seeing like. I don't know much about the wider Spider-Man universe, but of all the other characters, like Venom is not one I'm interested in. I don't know if it's because I've seen Spider-Man 3 too many times, but
too many times.
Once. Yeah. Why would you? Well, one is already too many times.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah. It's right. I just spend my life strutting down the street in a black suit, so it's fine. Oh, I hate that scene so much.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
You know the GIF images of Spider-Man dancing very femininely?
Which Spider-Man?
Yeah.
No, like just not related to the movies. There was just a.
I've not seen these.
No. Oh, okay. Never mind. I was going to ask which one came first, but never mind. But it seems like all Spider-Man danced because Tom Holland dances too.
Yeah, but they're not in the film, at least.
Yeah, not in the film.
But yeah, he is an accomplished dancer. And then did Andrew Garfield dance?
Actually, never mind. Andrew Garfield was just awkward all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have any other news items, so.
Yeah, I don't think there's been anything too major in the news. I can have a quick look, but new Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer.
Oh yeah,
I think that's pretty. Yeah, obviously that actually that gave it a release date, which because it's been pushed back a lot, and I think it's now due out in October.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was due out basically now, but then they pushed it.
I don't think anyone expected it to have come out with that first release date.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be the end of last year. Like that was when it was first announced. It was end of 2017.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how I feel about Red Dead because I enjoyed it, but I came to the first one very very late. Mm-hmm. Like I got a PS3 very late and just kind of picked it up because it was Rockstar and I enjoyed GTA and I really enjoyed it, but I don't have I don't love it as much as a lot of people do.
Clark, did you play it before?
No, I've seen it, but it never appealed to me as much. It looks cool, and I hear like people say that it's good and fun, but it wasn't something that just appealed to me. And I was like, I don't really need to play it. I don't want to play it. And if I just find it fascinating.
Yeah, Lamb is obsessed with that game.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Because he was like, when the first announcement came out, he was like, oh yeah, Red Dead 2! So.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's Rockstar, and these days they basically can't do anything wrong, so it'll probably be good. I think for me, it's probably going to be not pick it up on release date, but get it at some point.
Alright, cool.
Topic of the episode.
I guess we can move on to the topic of the episode. So the topic of the episode is, do we think that, what's our opinion about video games in terms of over time, have they gotten better or worse?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess anyone can start.
Nick, you want to start us off?
Yeah, well, I think it's a weird one because, first of all, how do you measure better or worse? Like in terms of graphics, if you compared Pong with God of War running on a PS4 Pro at 4K, then obviously God of War looks a lot better. But I think part of the problem with saying if games got better or worse is that often older games we have more nostalgia for. So I love there's a load of PS1 games that I really love that if I went and played now, I'd say, oh God, look at the graphics. The controls are really rubbish, but because they were part of my childhood, I'm willing to give them a pass.
What if it was more of like gameplay and not based on graphics or anything? Because that's just. I
think the interesting thing with gameplay is that even across like genres and consoles, things have become more kind of standardized. Mm-hmm. Like if you pick up like any third-person game, regardless of like the setting and the genre, the control scheme is pretty much the same. Whereas if you go back to kind of older games, I often had games that had really weird control schemes because they were kind of still trying to find what worked.
Right.
So I think that's kind of something that we take for granted these days, that actually a lot of games are quite similar in how they're kind of designed.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think some of the things I do like about the old games, personally, I think some of the new games are actually really good. Like I see a lot of games that are coming out for like the PlayStation 4, Monster Hunter, God of War, that stuff, and it looks really fun and it really appealed to me. But I think like in terms of gameplay, I really enjoyed some of the stuff. Like there's some of the new games that have a lot of in-game tutorial now, where you drop in and you go through the tutorial. And I think I played was it Inside recently?
Okay.
And it gave me like a sense of what the old games were like, where you just drop into the game and you start and you're like, okay, there's no buttons. I don't know the objective. I just need to try things out. And it was kind of fun for me just to figure things out. Like, okay, I can't do this. What does this button do? Or more or less you have like, the settings and everything, but it's like, oh, what can I do? What's the point of this game? And you just go around and trying to figure it out. And that was part of the fun. It made it harder. Well, back then it was like a lot harder, but Now it's just like, all right, if you press A, it will shoot. Make sure you do this, and be careful about this guy. He will hurt you, so make sure find a weak spot. Like, oh god, please, just let me play the game.
And you know what? Because of that, I think that's why Pokemon Go was such a huge success. Because like there were no instructions. That just like, okay, here's the new game. Everyone just play, and then everyone got that whole sense of like community again of trying to figure things out and tell each other.
Yeah.
So.
And I think you do see these days, it's more like quote unquote indie games that do kind of go back to that whole thing of we're not going to tell you what to do. We'll just drop you in a world and say, solve it for yourself. Like, I think while overall kind of mainstream AAA games have become a lot more handholdy, people have realized there is still a kind of audience for working things out yourself. Like a famous one people always say is that like when the original Legend of Zelda came out, people were like hand drawing the map out on paper because that's what you had to do. Whereas like if you compare that to Breath of the Wild, obviously you've got a big map and it will tell you where you've been and fast travel, and so I think there is it's kind of gone full circle a little bit.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. It went from everything was hard to everything becomes easy and handholdy, and then with just better graphics. And then slowly a lot more indie games are emerging now, and it's a little refreshing because you're kind of going back to that, but with the updated technology.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I feel like I understand like going back to those games. It's like a nostalgia thing. It's like, oh man, it's awesome. But but now like, with the newer games or like mostly with the indie games, it's taking advantage of the current technology, and it's using what worked back then as well in terms of gameplay. And I felt like, those type of games are the ones that are working out a lot better for me, and not like those Battlefield 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how they are.
Well, yeah. So an interesting example I've always heard is that I've never played it, but I'm aware of it. Is Shovel Knight, which is designed to kind of be a throwback to like those. I can't remember if it's 8-bit or 16-bit era games.
Right.
And it does do that. But a lot of people have pointed out that from a technical perspective, a 16-bit era console could not run that game. There is just like too many consoles and too many sprites. So it is kind of like you say, we can use the new graphics and kind of power that we have in modern consoles, but still make kind of old style games. Yeah.
And I think like by doing like those old pixel art games, it's a nostalgia thing, but two, it's kind of eliminate your biased view of like, oh, it has really good graphics, and you focus more on just the gameplay.
Yeah.
I felt like that's the smart idea, even though like it might not appeal to some audiences with the pixel art.
I think that's how I felt about Bleed 2. You guys ever play that?
Bleed 2? No.
Yeah, it's like a side-scrolling action. It's kind of like a Contra-ish game, but with like Mega Man style bosses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it was like all 16-bit indie game too, and that one was like it showed you very, very basic things, but it does not handhold you at all for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And it's like an old school Mega Man game, I would say, but with like crazy dashing and a huge number of sprites and all that stuff, and bullet time too. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking at the gameplay stuff right now. And it's pretty fast paced.
Yeah. I don't think any actual old school like SNES game would have been that fast.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think you do see, and it's a minor thing, but I think it fits in terms of the idea of like not knowing your objective, is a lot of even big AAA games, if you really want to, you can turn off all the heads-up display and like turn off the minimap and like the hints and stuff. And like part of me is tempted to do that with like an Assassin's Creed or something, but I think I just get frustrated because I'm so used to games that are quite handholdy.
Oh yeah. I think at one point in time there was a MMORPG I was playing that was what's it called? Oh my god, it was like a Russian game. Not Russian game. Yeah, Russian.
Russian? Like
it's made by a Russian company. Sorry. It was called Alids Online. But essentially, what happened was normally there's like those minimap that you were mentioning. But then this one, it was completely different where it doesn't have a minimap at all. And so a lot of people, I was reading on the forum because I was playing beta, and people were like, in the beginning, they were complaining about like, oh man, this is where there's no mini map. What's the map and everything? Well, you have like a map of where things are, but there's like no mini map of your location, current location and stuff like that. But, yeah, it was like, oh man, it's so weird. But they did explain that it was one trying to make the viewer be more immersive with the environment. So they have to actually remember where they're going. So like, okay, there's that tree and those are the landmarks and this is the sort of thing. And you kind of remember it that way. And in the beginning, it was really weird because, like other game where it's just handholding, it's like, oh my God, it's where's like the stupid, like, town center. I just want to go there and buy stuff. But then after a while, you kind of just get used to it again. And and it's kind of like what you were saying with, the Assassin's Creed turning it off. In the beginning, it's really weird and frustrating because you just want to get from point A to point B. But the game might be more fun just to be immersed into the environment.
Yeah, I think especially with games that have like just a really nice world to explore, and I think as much as some people love it and some people hate it, Assassin's Creed is a good example of that, because while the gameplay is quite repetitive, you can't fault them for the work they put into the worlds they create. Like they're hugely detailed and they look amazing. Like I was playing Assassin's Creed Origins a few months ago, and really enjoyed it. The amount of detail in that game is incredible.
Have you guys played Breath of the Wild?
No, I don't have a Switch or a Wii U.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
No, I've seen people play it. It looks amazing. I heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah. This is such an old man thing to say, but as much as I want to play it, I don't know how, because obviously you can put 100 hours into that game, and I don't know if I have the time in my life.
No, I agree. I actually have the game, and I played it, and I don't like Zelda games, but I love this game.
Yeah.
And, I played it, and, after 9 hours, I'm like, even though I love this game, I cannot play it anymore because it's too time consuming.
Yeah. Although I have heard people say that, the way it is structured, and I think that it comes from the fact that it was primarily designed for the Switch, is that you can play it in short bursts. So, the majority of the shrines, they don't take a huge amount of time to complete. You could probably complete a shrine in 20 minutes or so. So you can play it in short bursts, but you do get the impression it wasn't really designed for that.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Well, yeah, because, the whole thing that we're talking about with hand-holding, that game literally, has nothing.
Yeah.
You have to figure out everything on your own. And I guess because of developers, paranoia of people getting frustrated and not having time to play their game, that's probably why they've been, putting those tutorials in. Because then, for example, this game, it's I'm dropping the game because I don't have the time anymore to go through a lot of the stuff that they have. So,
I think it's quite surprising of Nintendo, of all companies, and with one of its most established franchises, that it took such a risk, that it did just drop people in and go, no, it's up to you to find out. And the really amazing thing, especially in the first couple of weeks of its release, was, even though I wasn't personally playing it, just looking through Twitter and seeing that hundreds of people could be at the same point in the game, but they'd all got to that in entirely unique and different ways. And I think that's the fundamental strength of that game.
Yeah, I was probably I cannot play another open world game without comparing it to that game.
Yeah.
That's the most open world game I've ever played.
Now I want to play it.
I'm not being sponsored by Nintendo, so.
But hey, Nintendo, if you do want to sponsor us, I'll have a Switch, please.
Make that 2 and Zelda.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I agree with most of what you guys said. I do think there's too much hand-holding now. It kind of sucks because there's less sense of discovery with most games now. So, I don't know. I mean, at the same time, it brings in a good market for the indie community. So that, people can still play those type of games, or because games are so hand-holding, all the newer games nowadays, you hear so many people, it's I beat this in so many hours. Yeah. You don't ever hear someone say, I could not beat this game anymore.
Yeah.
Because back then it would be it'd be hard to, it'd be the bragging rights on those playgrounds if you beat a game, because all the games are so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Super Metroid.
yeah.
I think it's a silly thing, but I think it's also the fact that games is now such a much bigger industry, so there are more games around. So that if you get frustrated with a big AAA game, you might go and you might buy a little indie game and take your mind off it and try something else. And I think, whereas I think for a lot of times, like if you go back to even the 90s, like, okay, yes, there were like retrospectively, there's a lot of games made for those consoles, but for a lot of people, you'd maybe get like one game at Christmas, a game for your birthday, and you had that one game and that's what you focused on. Whereas these days, because games are so freely available and kind of some of them can cost very little or even cost nothing.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
very
I think,
true.
Yeah. I also think this is like the most old man comment I'm going to make. I think social media and YouTube are kind of the problem as well, especially due to that discovery side of it. Because like, even though it's entirely up to you kind of what you watch and what you choose to see, like within a day of any big game coming out, you'll have like, here's what the final boss is video on YouTube, and like, here's a let's play, and it's like,
yeah. And actually I found some so I was trying to do that before too, to get more views on like YouTube, but I'm not, we're not like part of the industry, so we don't get like early releases. So it's that whole sense of discovery that everyone wants, because like, with Loot Crate, right? Like, do you have Loot Crate over in the UK?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so I do unboxing videos, right? And I always unbox it like a week after I get it. But last time I unboxed it the same day and posted the same day, and then I got like 3,000 views that same day.
Wow!
Because everyone's just like, oh, I want to know what's in it. Yeah. So it's that sense of like wanting to know that's kind of driving the game industry. So
it's a weird thing. I think that's not going to change anytime soon, because I think that's how the games industry is going. And one bit of news, and I'm sorry this is out of position, but it just reminded me. Did you hear that in Belgium they ruled that loot boxes in certain games were illegal?
Oh, yes, because it's gambling.
Yeah. And the really funny thing is that the only company that responded at the time was Valve, I think. And if you actually read their response, they're basically kind of, they're hiding their words, but they're basically saying, we think that they've got something wrong, and we're basically just going to prove why they're wrong, as opposed to them agreeing to take anything out.
So they're going to be committing crimes.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get fined at the very least if they don't do something.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think, was it in China or one of the other Asian countries that the rates have to be publicly published for?
Yeah, I think that is China.
Yeah. It's like that's how they kind of mitigate, like not completely get rid of it, but at least give like percentages so that people don't go too crazy. It's still like on the responsibility of the gamer.
And then the weird thing is, because I think both Britain and the US ruled that they weren't gambling, because it's something like no matter what, whenever you open a loot box, you still get something. Whereas with gambling, with actual gambling, it's possible to win nothing. Whereas they basically argued, because if you open a loot box, even if you end up getting a duplicate of something you already have, that's still something. Like, you still get value for your money, which I think is a weird way to look at it.
Yeah, it's like a loophole that they're trying to force into it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take us off topic with loot boxes, but that came to mind. When you started talking about unboxing, that got me onto loot boxes.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. Because like when you talked about that just reminded me of like going to like the Comic-Con conventions and stuff like that. Where in the exhibit halls they sell these mystery boxes.
Oh god.
Yeah, and then the mystery boxes are, I guess the US can make the same argument, right? Like, it's a mystery box where you're still getting something, but you get a chance of winning like an Xbox. Like,
oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, but they do still sell it, and my friends and I have spent a little too much money on them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, with really, really bad stuff that came out of it. Like I got a 24-inch figurine of Martial Law from Tekken 3, and I'm like,
24-inch, that's massive.
I know. I'm like, what the heck am I gonna do with this?
My God. Yeah.
It's still sitting actually next to me right now.
No.
This is from 2 years ago.
Wow.
Can you try to sell it, or do you even want it?
I don't want it, and I tried to sell it, and no one wants it. Even for like $10.
Oh wow.
I always have the whole thing of like, whenever I see like a special edition of a game that comes with like a figurine, I'm like, oh my god, that looks so cool. And then my brain goes, no, because I'm going to hate the fact that I'm going to put that in my house somewhere and someone's going to think I'm a massive nerd because I've got a figurine of like an assassin or something.
I wish I had that second part of your brain.
Well, it's a bad thing because it's basically just I care too much what other people think of me.
But if it's enough to prevent you from spending extra money, I would want that because I always get those collector's editions.
Yeah, admittedly, I did see the collector edition for the new Tomb Raider game, and it's incredibly expensive because it has like a figurine, an actual working torch, and some really weird stuff in it.
Working torch?
Torch?
Yeah. It's like it's like $160 or something. It's crazy.
Wow.
Isn't a working torch just like a piece of wood or something?
Let me have a look. I will pull it up what's in it. You give me a second. I'm 99% sure it comes with a torch because that's kind of one of Lara Croft's unique items. Collector's edition.
I'm just thinking it was like real fire, and then
torch is in flashlight.
Oh, okay.
That was me being British. My fault. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, we were thinking.
Yeah, flashlight is in. Yeah, not like fire.
Actual fire. Okay. I was like, real one.
Collector's edition comes with fire.
Yeah. If you can't get that yourself.
It comes with a stick and some rocks, so you can make your own fire.
Yeah, I was thinking, it's like, man, if it was like real fire, it wouldn't just like melt the figurines.
I am
5 minutes.
Yeah. I'm trying to have a look, but the Square Enix website has an age gate on it. Okay, this is the Steelbook. This is the Steelbook edition. Oh, I found that the Ultimate edition. Yeah, the Ultimate edition is $200, and it comes with. It doesn't say.
It's a loot box.
I don't even. It's a really badly designed website. Well done, Square Enix. It doesn't say. I've definitely. I will have a quick look. I've seen it definitely comes with a figurine or something.
I found out on a different website.
Yeah,
it comes with this. Yeah, it comes with a statue. It comes with the flashlight, and it comes with a bottle opener that looks like.
It looks like the axe. I really wanted that to be fair. Of all the things, I want that bottle opener. I'm kind of hoping. I'm hoping that once the game comes out, that like other companies will do knockoffs of that because I want a Tomb Raider axe bottle opener so much.
It actually looks like it's a very useful design.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I almost think the way it's kind of shaped, you could have like a bottle opener on one side and a screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver on the other.
That was. Well, let's hope the knockoffs have that.
Yeah, I can confirm it is 180 British pounds or $200.
It's let's see, $200 in the US. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Croft edition, which is basically the game plus the season pass, is £85. Oh my god!
Yeah, with the 7 challenges or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I'm still going to buy a version of that game.
Yeah. Yeah, we could also like just go into DLC, but that's going to be a long topic.
Yeah.
But so going back to the main topic is I don't like that what DLC has made games become.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot remember the last time I legitimately bought DLC separately for a game. Like sometimes I've had like Game of the Year editions that come with DLC, but I've never bought DLC explicitly for like a reason.
Yeah, I think I am much more bitter about it because I've bought too many DLCs.
Fair enough.
Didn't you like a lot of your fighting games, you just each DLC is like a new character, Tony?
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, like $5 a new character or something. And then I had this like OCD-ness of having a complete roster. So I would get every character. And my, like $60 game would end up being like 120 something.
To be fair though, like if it's like a fighting game, a new character is there's quite a lot of value to that. It's just it's kind of annoying when DLC is just like, here's some extra outfits. It's like, is it worth it?
Well, yeah, yes and no, because I do agree that having a new character, I would pay if it's a new character that's added on to the game later, like a real one. Like, for Injustice, you actually have to download the character model, the move list and everything, right? But games like back when Street Fighter 4 was still around, the DLC in that was not downloadable content, it was disc-locked content. So you'd be paying for 4 new characters, like $2-3 each, but they're already on the disc.
So technically, if you could find a way to hack the disc in some way that you wouldn't technically have to pay for it, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy because if you think about it, they released the game knowing that they finished the game, but they locked certain parts away to sell the unlock code.
Yeah,
so that kind of I hate that part.
I remember once there was a random thing. There was a time, speaking of DLC, where Destiny teamed up with Red Bull to give out DLC on like special bottles of Red Bull. What? But they'd done something stupid with the codes, and someone was basically able to hack all the codes, so none of them worked.
Oh, so they don't work?
Yeah, or it's something like so that everyone could have it. Like basically, they broke the system in some way.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like the whole DLC thing kind of made games a little worse. If you want to just talk about overall scheme,
that's true. It's a lot of it's more money grabbing.
Yeah,
and less focus on the player itself.
Yeah, and we don't have to talk about the Battlefront fiasco.
Oh god, yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys have any other comments?
What about Battlefield or just generally?
Just generally.
Not really. I'm excited for Tomb Raider. Come on, September. But
September 14th.
Yes. That makes me so happy because I was so angry how long we had to wait for Rise of the Tomb Raider because it was an Xbox exclusive for a year.
I thought the release date was an interesting release date. I was like, okay, kids, September 14th, we're going to release it when you're back in school. It's like, really?
Well, again, not to be an old man, but that game is technically like an 18. If you're a kid, you shouldn't technically be playing that game. It's
that is true.
And I will say that judging by the trailer, this game seems like it's going to be a bit more dark and grisly than the previous two. So, I'm very excited.
Cool.
Do I have any other comments? I'm trying to think about what games I've been playing recently. I've been playing Burnout Paradise.
Oh, is that what system is that one on?
It was remastered for PS4. It was originally PS3 and Xbox 360 game. Then it got remastered.
That's a racing game, right?
Yeah, Burnout traditionally was a racing game that was kind of also all about crashing. But the whole thing about Paradise is that it was the first open world one. But it's not like it's only open world in a very basic sense. You basically drive around a city and then you stop at places and then you just go into a race and that's kind of it. But I like the Burnout series because I enjoy racing games, but I don't like super simulation, really hard racing games. Like Burnout's really just kind of an arcade game. It's kind of one of those games that I'll play when listening to a podcast because it doesn't have a plot or anything. Right. You just drive around and crash into people. So I really enjoyed it. And because it was a remaster, it didn't launch at like £60 full price. So if you want it, it's quite cheap as well. So yeah. And if you want, your listeners can decide whether I should get God of War or Assassin's Creed Rogue remastered.
Did you already play Assassin's Creed Rogue?
No, that's the thing. That's the one Assassin's Creed I didn't play because for anyone who doesn't know, Assassin's Creed Rogue came out exactly when Assassin's Creed Unity came out. But at the time, Unity was the first game to go on PS4 and Xbox One. So they created Rogue, which was on PS3, to kind of say this is the last game we'll do for the old generation. And I never played it because just as it came out, I'd switched to a PS4. But they've now remastered it for PS4. And Assassin's Creed Rogue is basically the sequel to Black Flag. So it's another one that's basically all about sailing. And I absolutely I loved the sailing side of Assassin's Creed 4. There are people out there that didn't, and to be honest, it's not a great standard Assassin's Creed game, but it's such a great pirate game that I kind of want to play Rogue. I don't know.
I heard the 4 was actually really good.
I really enjoyed it. That was my first Assassin's Creed game, and I played every one since, apart from Rogue.
Oh, well, so you started at 4.
Yeah, well, yeah, because like I said, I got a PS3 very, very late, so I missed a lot of major franchises. And quite often, when I say to people I've played Assassin's Creed, when I say that I've not played the Ezio games, they kind of look at me like I'm crazy.
So, are you kind of like a perfectionist where you had to play all of the series?
Not really, because I think a lot of these times the games are quite self-contained. Like if I get into a series from the start, then I like to follow that through. But unless it's really obvious that a game has like a clear kind of overarching narrative, right, I will play the other ones. But yeah, it depends really, because it's especially difficult with games these days because you kind of only really have a 5-year window with games, and then the new flashy console comes out and you get abandoned. And like if you truly want to keep playing a series, there are situations where you have to own like multiple consoles. Like I've never played one, but take like Final Fantasy. To play the entirety of Final Fantasy, you need basically every console from a SNES to a PS4 ish.
The original, the NES, the first one.
Oh, the NES, and it's like that's crazy. Like,
but I agree.
Yeah, I'm also quite excited for Spider-Man on PS4. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I am hoping that that's going to be good because I have not thought any Spider-Man game was good as Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2.
That's what. Yeah. I never played it, but I know if you say Spider-Man to basically any gamer, they'll always say Spider-Man on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
that was like the game.
Yeah, it was the first Spider-Man game that was the open world feel with like the best web slinging, the most realistic and fun web slinging that was ever done. Because like I spent hours in that game, not even doing any missions, just swinging around and exploring the city and doing as many tricks as I can and going on the highest point of the Empire State Building and jumping off. Like, that was probably the only Spider-Man game I truly enjoyed. So really hope that they get that right in this new game.
It certainly looks amazing. I'll give them that. Like, even just from a visual perspective, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fighting is very similar. Not very similar, but it has a feel of Arkham Asylum.
Yes, I think that's probably going to be kind of what it is. The only thing I'm slightly worried about, and a lot of people said this, is how many QTEs are there going to be?
Oh, yeah.
How much control are we really going to have? Like,
I don't want too many of the quick time events.
Yeah.
But, I mean, God of War could do it with that, right? God of War has a lot of quick time events.
Yeah, better. I don't know why I'm complaining too much. So does Tomb Raider, so...
All right.
God of War.
Yeah, I probably will. Because I want to pretend to be Thor. did you see that there's as an Easter egg there's basically the Infinity Gauntlet in that game?
Oh yeah. It was like Gauntlet of the Ages or something.
Yeah. It's not called the Infinity Gauntlet, but it's you fill it up with gemstones and then you can fire purple lightning from your hand or something. Like it's very obviously a reference.
It's really fun. It's pretty funny.
Will we name the character in that game where you can actually just name it Thor instead of Kratos?
I wish, but probably not in that kind of games. Like these days, you're not really allowed to name game characters anymore.
No.
Unless it's like an RPG.
That's true.
Which is a shame. It used to always be really fun in Pokemon when you gave your character a really stupid name and they would come up in all the dialogue.
So what you just mentioned about the gauntlet in God of War. So it's funny because they would have the gems and they have the names of it that are very similar, but it's different. Time Stone in Marvel, but in God of War, it's the Temporal Stone.
Oh god.
Or something like that, where the Power Stone is the Eye of Power, or Mind Stone is the Corrupted Mind, things like that. Yeah. It's pretty funny. Yeah. You guys okay moving on to the next part?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Cool.
You got mail. You got mail. You got mail.
So next part is our mailbag community question. Last week's question was, if you were an extra in a play or show, what would you be? And let's see. Before I read it, read the answers. I know, Nick, you had an answer. So.
Yes, I did. I put this in late. But yeah, I just, as a joke, said any character in the kind of well-known TV series Boston Legal that finished about 10 years ago, but it's my favourite TV show in the world. It's basically like it's a comedy legal show, which you don't really get, and it's so good. It's got William Shatner being insane in it, and just I really enjoy it.
Yeah, do you remember that, Qua?
Yeah, I do remember that show, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was actually surprised you remember.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I was clearing out a lot of DVDs recently because I was like, these days I just watch everything on Netflix. Who needs DVDs anymore? But then I've got all the box sets of Boston Legal, and I was like, I'm never getting rid of this because Boston Legal is like never broadcast anywhere. So I'm like, I've got to keep these DVDs.
That's true. I never saw or heard of it being like placed back on like streaming services.
Yeah, no, like I think it's because it was just not like it wasn't like that massively popular. I don't think, and kind of when it finished was kind of before the kind of Netflix era because I think it finished in like 2008. So it was kind of so it's kind of like pre-streaming kind of thing. Like if you think about the fact the iPhone came out in 2007, so
oh yeah. Wait, well, but you know what though? I thought that they would still bring back old shows, on the streaming services.
I suppose it depends how popular it is, really.
True.
Because how many people who don't already have Netflix going to go, I'm going to buy Netflix right now if you put Boston Legal on it? The answer is probably me, but...
Yes, it's all for you, Nick.
Yeah, even though I have the DVDs, I just don't have them with me right now. They are elsewhere, but I could go and get them if I needed them.
Man, I think I'm gonna go back and try to find a way to watch this. Like, try to see if any streaming service has this.
Yeah.
Totally forgot about the show.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who produced it, so who might have control over it.
It says it was created by David E. Kelly.
Yeah, but I mean it's that certain networks kind of favor different streaming services. I wondered if
I'll check Hulu because it looks like it's Fox. 20th Fox.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was pretty sure it was Fox, and I was trying to remember which streaming service Fox were kind of friendly with.
Yeah, I think they own 20% of Hulu.
Yeah. Damn, that's the one streaming service I don't use.
It sucks because I have it, right? And I pay them about $8 a month, and you still get ads.
Yeah, I've heard people say this. Like, isn't it that there's like 3 levels? There's like your basic one, there's like a premium one but with ads, and then there's like a premium one without ads. Yeah,
so the basic free one, like you don't have to do anything. Just go on the website, make an account, and watch. Then you pay $7 or $8 in US dollars like a month for your kind of like premium, but not like ad free.
Yeah.
So you still get ads, but you have a wider selection of shows to choose from.
Yeah.
Then you pay a little higher, and then you get your ads removed.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy, given that Netflix is relatively cheap, and they have like no ads, no anything. Like,
yeah.
And they
actually, Netflix increased their pricing so that it's very close to Hulu's new pricing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they are kind of competing right now with that no ad fee. So yeah. But yeah, you would think though the networks would not have ads for like $7 a month because they own all the shows.
Yeah. I'm quite sad though that obviously you can so obviously tell that Disney is pulling out of Netflix.
Oh yeah, they're starting to remove stuff.
Yeah, like all the Marvel stuff is disappearing.
Yeah, I think only the most recent ones are still up. Like
I know Civil War is up, and I know and Force Awakens is up, but
Doctor Strange I think is still up.
Is it?
I think so, or at least 2 weeks ago.
I was going to say that, and that might maybe just be in the US because you do get differences between countries.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Yeah, Quack, how's your Netflix over there?
Limited.
Wait, what do you think? What do you think you should have that you don't?
I don't know. Like, I don't even know what things are taking out, or because I remember when I was in Canada, they were still having Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But I don't know if that's a Disney thing pulling out, or if it's just a limited stuff now. So I don't watch Netflix as often as I do anymore.
I'm basically forced to use Netflix because I don't have an aerial point where I am, so I can't watch conventional television.
Oh, I don't watch television. I just watch YouTube.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I'm in an area that has TV. I don't I still don't watch TV.
Yeah,
I just use Netflix.
Yeah, and it is weird these days that even people that watch TV, that you don't watch a lot of stuff live. Like most people have like a DVR, so they'll just record stuff.
Right.
And you know what? That really sucks because some of the production companies, they still base off Nielsen ratings for like renewal of shows. It's like, no, people don't watch it live anymore.
Whereas now, sometimes when you look at ratings, it'll specifically say there's a term for it that's basically like, it's like live plus 7, where they'll they'll combine the ratings over the following week as well, like to give you a better idea.
Oh, like for 7 days?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that yet, so cool.
Okay.
Let me read the Let me read the answers from our listeners
Good
for that question. So John Loyola says it's too late already, but The Office, hands down, just to be an intern or a delivery boy or something. That would have been my dream. Let's see. The Monster Closet podcast says a reoccurring red shirt on Star Trek.
Surely that's a contradiction in terms. Surely you can't be a reoccurring red shirt because you'll just die.
But that's really funny if you are a reoccurring red shirt.
True.
Because it's like, oh, it's the guy that just died again. It's like, oh my gosh, Kenny. So, let's see. Judge Greg, he says Law and Order. I would make a great dead guy.
I meant to reply to this. Given he's a man who basically embraces the word judge in his name, I'm surprised he didn't want to be a judge on Law and Order.
It's true.
I know, right? He'd rather, maybe he's a dead judge. You don't know that.
Could be.
Sword Chomp podcast says Game of Thrones. I want to be brutally murdered on screen.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah. The main characters get brutally murdered.
Yeah,
I don't know what's the next
just if it was like stupidly elaborate the way I died, like I'd settle for that.
Yeah, memorable. I would say.
Yeah, like Viserys Targaryen, which I won't spoil in case there's someone out there that still hasn't watched Game of Thrones.
Well,
I'm not caught up. I'm on season 4.
Well, okay. The reference I made was season 1, so you'd have been fine.
Okay, you good.
I have not seen any Game of Thrones.
Okay, no, then.
I won't say.
Let's see. The Super Best Friend Video Game Sleepover podcast. They said I stayed up until the wee hours trying to beat the devil on Cuphead, so I'll be sleeping roommate number 3. Oh yeah, that was Adam Redding from Super Best Friends. All right, so those were the answers. Do you guys have a question you would like to ask this week?
Let's see.
If you could, what item would you like included in a collector's edition for a game? You can choose the game and the item.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What would you want?
Oh, I would like an Iron Man game that comes with an Iron Man suit.
Oh, that would be cool.
Like a real working Iron Man
suit. Real, yeah.
If it came with a real suit, you wouldn't even want to play the game. You just go fly
in the suit.
That would be yes. Make
it's
it
like a VR thing.
Yes. I'll try to think of something less stupid.
No,
that was an awesome answer, though.
Yeah. It would be impossible to sell, but an Assassin's Creed game that came with a real hidden blade.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
So
if you open the game wrong, would you get knifed by it?
That's the test. If you're not a true assassin that doesn't know how to open the game properly, you get killed.
Oh man, all the legal disclaimers that thing would have.
Yeah.
And if it occurs in Boston,
wait, what?
No, I'm just joking. If it occurs in Boston, it'll become a case on Boston Legal.
Oh, true. Yeah, every TV show is getting revived these days. Can we bring back Boston Legal? I will bankroll the entire thing if needs be.
I don't think it needs to be rebooted. It could still just continue because James Spader is still an active actor right now.
Yeah, and William Shatner is still just about acting-ish.
Yeah, kind of.
Although James Spader's quite busy, because James Spader does quite a lot these days.
Is he? I don't even know.
He does that TV series, The Blacklist.
Is that still going on?
Oh, is he on it? Oh.
Yeah.
He's the main guy on it.
Yeah, but I think it is still going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And obviously he was Ultron, but...
He was what?
He was Ultron, the voice of Ultron.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Blacklist is still going on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I've never watched it, but I was aware of it because it's got him in it.
Yeah, it's already passed the number of episodes of Boston Legal.
Damn it!
5 seasons.
I'm not happy.
Wait, Quack, did you answer yet? Or?
Let me see. Oh man, definitely it's gonna be a Mega Man X game. Let's see, what do I want with it though? I mean,
I know.
like going off what Nick said, I was like, man, it would be awesome if it came with like a suit as well, like for the Zero suit. I'm like, oh man. Oh, I guess it would be like a Zero Saber sort of thing. That would be like the closest I can get to like an opener, like a letter opener. That's a Zero Saber.
And would it be powered by real lasers? Or?
Yeah, it has to.
So a real laser that's used solely for bottle opening.
For letter opening, yes.
Or letter opening, okay.
It might burn the content
you
inside.
Set fire to all your letters.
Yeah, so like, yeah, dude, really quick, and it takes a lot of skills, or else everything will burn.
Fair.
Hey, gosh. I think for me it'll be a Mortal Kombat game. I mean, obviously, and I think I would want a real harpoon spear from Scorpion.
Oh,
yeah. I like how
this is not. Well, go ahead.
Sorry, I like how we all went for weapons that absolutely could not be included.
Yeah. Hey, you did ask if anything, right? So
yeah.
Although, actually, let me pull something from my. Okay, so I bought this thing. I have it right in front of me. It is a Scorpion bottle opener, and it says age 18 plus. And it looks exactly like the spear harpoon thing. Mm-hmm. And it says to avoid dangerous. Okay, no, never mind. That's for the bag. The bag is not a toy. And then on the back it says, "This is not a toy. The product is intended for adults over 18 of age only. Caution, contains sharp point. Get over here."
Yeah. Get over here. Sorry.
But yeah, if they could sell this, I think they'd be okay putting it in a collector's edition thing.
Yeah, okay, I've just thought of the best one joke answer that will only make sense if you follow me and most of the rest of this podcast network on Twitter. It's a limited edition version of Life is Strange that comes with a clone of Max Caulfield that is only going to be sent to Greg to see if that will finally prove that Greg is wrong about Max.
You should also put that on a pineapple pizza.
Yes, yeah. Max will turn up at his door with a pineapple pizza and instantaneously proving she is not the worst because pineapple does belong on a pizza. Don't at me.
Oh, man. I wonder what Judge Rick will have to say about that.
Yep, I'm going to be hiding in a nuclear bunker until it's safe to come back out again.
Don't you have to record with him soon?
He doesn't know that.
You publicly told him today on Twitter.
Yeah, that I might have to move that day, actually.
Okay. That was funny reading that exchange between you two, though.
Yeah, I thought he might come out with something like that, but yeah.
Alright, so let's move on to the game time. So game time, we usually play this game called Video Game 20 Questions. And it's 20 questions. It's like yes or no questions. So one of us thinks of a game. The other two ask questions, take turns, or however you want to do it. Yeah. And 19 questions of yes and no. And then the 20th question has to be what the game is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So do you want to be one of the guessers, or do you want to be the one that thinks of the game, Nick?
Well, I do have a game in mind because it is one that's been mentioned, but wasn't a major topic of discussion, so I'm not sure if you'll get it.
Have we heard of the game?
Yeah, and you mentioned it during this recording.
Okay.
Huh.
We can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me turn on the tally counter. All right, cool. So, Quack, you want to start, or?
All right, I'm trying to remember all the games that we mentioned.
Well, we could ask. I'll ask this first thing. Was this released after 2010?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this on the PlayStation console? PlayStation 4, I guess?
No.
Ooh, okay.
Is this game part of a long-running series?
No.
So it's one game. It's not on PlayStation.
It's not part of a series.
Should we find out if it's multiplayer?
Sure.
It is.
Oh,
Yes.
it is. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
That did nothing.
So it's a multiplayer game after 2010
So
on the PlayStation console. Wait, was it on the PlayStation?
No, not on PlayStation.
Not on the PlayStation. Okay. Okay. I kind of think I know what it is, but
Okay.
just
What
figure
do you
out.
think it is?
Well, Nick, we're in discussion, so you don't have to say anything
Okay.
until we actually ask you a question. Well, I'm thinking it's it's Burnout, but then now I just thought about it because that's a series,
Yeah.
so it can't be.
Yeah. Okay.
Never mind.
So it's not It's not part of the Assassin's Creed. It's not God of War, and I see multiplayer. And it's definitely not Final Fantasy. Did we mention? It's after, you say after 2010, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 2010.
I guess I can ask about open world. Should I ask that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Is this a game, an open world game?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay. Should we find out what console it's on then?
Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Is this okay? I was going to ask for PC.
I don't know if we should say PC or Xbox. Did we talk about any PC games?
Some, but
Okay, go ahead.
is this on PC?
Yes.
Okay. I'm thinking Shovel Knight, but then, so the only way to know that, I think it's like if it's what you call it, if it's a pixel art game, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is this a pixel art game?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So it has a release on the PC,
Okay.
not on the PlayStation.
And it's single player, or not? Well, multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, multiplayer. Oh yeah, Shovel Knight was a multiplayer.
So we're at 7 questions.
Okay, what games did we talk about that's multiplayer? It's also on PC. Holy crap, my memory's bad. Let's see. Okay, Legend of Zelda. Should we find out what genre it's on? Or what kind of genre it is?
Sure. I have to ask if it's RPG.
Sure.
Yeah. Is this an RPG?
No.
Huh.
That's not like its main genre. Like, you could kind of argue it kind of is, but I wouldn't class that as its main genre, so I'll say no.
Oh my gosh. Okay. The only PC game I remember is the one you said, Clock, which is Outlaws Online.
Yeah. Oh, sure. We could see if it's that, I guess.
No, but that's RPG though.
Oh, that's true.
I thought that's pretty clear as an RPG, right? MMO?
Yeah, that's true. It is. But it's not open world either, right? So it's
Okay.
okay. It's not open world RPG. It's not RPG.
Are we getting hung up that it could be like a game that had a PC release but is not known to be a PC release?
Possibly. PC was not the platform it was known most for.
Okay.
And I will give you that hint purely because I can tell that you're struggling.
Okay.
You always struggle. It's pretty common.
Okay. I mean, okay. I'm gonna throw this out there. Is this on an Xbox console?
It is.
Okay. Oh man, I did not have an Xbox.
Me neither.
But we should know it because we talked about it at one point.
Okay. Was Battlefield part of the thing?
Battlefield is part of a series, though.
Oh, that's true. Sorry.
It's like some one-off Xbox game.
Was that your question?
Oh no! I'm just saying a statement.
Okay. Let's just narrow down to genre, I guess.
Okay.
Wait, or should we find out if it's like the main character is a guy or a girl?
Does that help us?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Is the main character a girl, a female?
No.
Okay. That doesn't really help us.
Yeah. Okay, it's not a Nintendo game. It's for Xbox. Xbox that we talked about, or we mentioned it.
I will say it was something mentioned as opposed to discussed in depth.
Yeah.
Like I was a little bit sneaky, but it has been mentioned by name at least once during this recording.
Now.
Oh my gosh, we're at 10 questions, so let's see.
Let's figure out if it's a kind of genre it is then, I guess.
Okay, so he did say that it was a kind of arguable to be RPG. So the other thing that has that is like an not action, it's an adventure game or a platformer, right?
Right.
So you want to ask if it's one of those?
So platformer?
Yes.
Okay,
it's a platformer.
Okay, so it's a platformer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not pixel art, he said, right?
Yeah, no, it's not.
Oh, is this an extreme? Is it considered a very difficult game?
Yes.
Okay. Is this a 2D game?
Yes.
Okay, I think I know what it is.
I'm thinking Cuphead.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was what I was going for.
All right,
Okay,
yeah.
Mentioned once by Super Best Friends Video Game Sleepover podcast in their answer. So it was mentioned.
Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah,
that's why I remember Cuphead. I was like, oh, it has to be Cuphead.
But yeah, it's because it was mainly known as an Xbox game, but it was crossplay with Windows 10, so it did technically have a release.
Yeah.
And the reason I said it kind of had RPG elements is there are like power-ups and kind of things that you have to grind to get. So there's kind of very basic RPG elements, but it's predominantly a platformer come bullet hell game. So that was
Okay, that's cool. Cool. I have one game that I was like hoping to also try for you guys to guess.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up the Okay, you guys can go ahead and start.
Okay.
And I know that both of you know this game.
Okay.
One of you more in depth than the other, so.
Okay.
Should we ask if one of us played the game then?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to ask that. I know for sure one of you have.
Okay.
Is it from this console generation?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this a multiplayer game?
The answer is no, but okay. The answer is no. Technically, no. No.
I was like, but what? But yes.
I'll explain later, or once you find out what the game is, you'll understand why.
Okay, it's not multiplayer.
Technically not multiplayer.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know. Like, no. I was trying to think if you're trying to class co-op and multiplayer as two different things, but they are the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It was more confusing than it should be.
Yeah. Is it on PS4?
Yes.
Then it's probably something I've played because that's the only console that I own. Okay. Right. A non-multiplayer PS4 game.
Well, to my knowledge, it's not multiplayer.
Okay. I'm only guessing like the Assassin's Creed. Oh, is it part of a long-running series?
No.
Okay, so it's a one-time thing.
Wait, is it a series that has just 2 games in it?
2 games?
Yeah.
Like this. Like
wait, are you asking what the definition of a series is?
No, you said it's not. You said it's not a long-running series.
There's 2 games.
Yeah. How are you defining long-running?
Well, I'm just gonna say it's not part of a series.
Okay.
Okay.
That was my theory. Okay, not. Let's see if it is. So one-off, not multiplayer PS4 game that I've probably played.
It's not part of any of Tomb Raider series.
So it's not Tomb Raider, it's not Burnout, it's not going to be...
Don't get too hung up on the multiplayer thing. It's a little bit vague, I guess.
Is it a sports game of some sort?
No.
Is it an action game?
Oh gosh. Kind of?
Oh god.
Wow.
I mean, it's part of the genre. It's not
adventure,
really...
like that sort of thing.
Yes, action adventure is part of the genre.
Okay. We find out it was like third or first person.
Yeah, that might help.
Okay, is this game third person?
No.
Oh. A non-third person action adventure game. Now, there aren't many of those.
It might be like top down as well.
Yeah. Oh.
So should we keep going and see if it's first person?
I'm trying to think what games I've played in the last kind of like year or so that haven't been third person action games.
No.
That aren't in a series.
Did you play any indie game?
Not really. No, that is part of the series. Damn. So PS4, that's not PS4. It's 22.
Does it help if I ask the main character is a guy or girl?
That might help. Yeah, I would. Okay. Yeah.
Is the main character a male?
I'm going to say unclear.
What? So what? All my questions is like not even a yes or no. Okay. Have you played any ambiguously?
Yeah, any games where the protagonist is like an animal or non-binary gendered, or a robot, or a. Oh, hang on a minute. Wait, I've not played. No, this is too recent. I've not played it. I thought it might. This is just me. I thought it might have been Detroit because you're technically a robot, but none of us have played that because it's not out yet. So
yeah.
How can you not be male or female?
He might be, or he or she might be wearing like some sort of cloak, and then Tony doesn't know by sight.
Doesn't know by sight. Possibly. I feel like because it's PS4, it's got to be something I've played, but I play pretty mainstream games, so I don't.
So there are 8 questions, by the way.
You know it's action adventure.
Yeah, and not third person, which is kind of odd.
Okay.
I know, because you said technically not multiplayer. Is it set in space?
Yes.
Is it No Man's Sky?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
I now understand what you meant by technically not multiplayer, because they did try and put it in, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah. You got it. 10 questions. Yeah, No Man's Sky. It was first person, and you play as a role of an alien humanoid explorer, but you don't really know who you are.
That's what.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and it's a survival action adventure, and it was designed to be single player, and then they put like this weird multiplayer map thing in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've not played it since the last few round of updates.
Yeah, I just know you angrily stopped playing it.
I did, and I did something that I would never normally do for a game, but I looked at kind of, because the whole thing with that game is that you work to get towards the center of the universe, and I got bored, so I looked at what is at the center of the universe, and my god, it is the biggest cop-out in the world.
Oh yeah, I know, I saw that.
It's like, I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah, it's more like this game is a waste of time.
Yeah.
You know? So
the weird thing is, I think, at the kind of rate they're updating it, in like 2 years from now, there could be an interesting game there. It's just the base mechanics just aren't fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like I don't want to trade it in or get rid of it because I think there is the possibility of something good there.
Yeah, they just had a terrible, like, marketing time. Yeah. Because, like, they were promising all these things, and then... So I don't know if you know about this, Quack, but they had talked about this game being multiplayer, and when it was released, like, basically it's like 18 million planets or something like that. So the likelihood of meeting someone in the same area would not be high. But in the first few weeks of release, there was these 2 guys who found out on the map that they were in the same area, and they were trying to find out how to meet up, but there was no way they could meet up.
Yeah.
So, and then everyone realized that there was a lie that was multiplayer. Yeah,
they basically hadn't integrated it in because, statistically speaking, it would have almost been impossible for 2 people to meet together, so they didn't bother.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
but they just marketed it that way.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Are they still updating?
Yes, they're due to put in, I think there's a massive update coming on the horizon because I think it's coming to Xbox because it was a PS4 exclusive originally, and kind of when it comes to Xbox, there's a massive update coming to it as well, I think.
Yeah, they've been keeping quiet, but every time they've been updating, everything's been major updates.
Yeah.
So they've been trying to try to fix what they screwed people over for, I guess. But I mean, they already lost a huge fan base from it.
Yeah. Myself included.
Yeah. So, yeah. How many hours did you put in that game?
I don't know. There might be a way to check on my PS4, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. I hope it wasn't too much.
I don't think it was a huge amount of time, because I think it reached the point where, like, for the first few hours, I was like, every new planet was interesting because it was new and it was different. But then you realised that there wasn't any substance to it.
Yeah, because you couldn't do much when it was first released.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, good job on getting that game.
Yep.
Because, like, I remember one of your episodes, you were just, like, really pissed off. About that game.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that if you go back even earlier into our podcast, both me and Brad are really, really excited about the game and all its potential, and then it comes out and we're like, well, that's okay.
Yeah. The game was kind of advertised like, do you know Ready Player One? Like from the book side of it? Yeah. So it kind of like was advertised to feel like it was like the Oasis, but it turned out to not even be close.
Not even close.
Yeah. It turned out to be the movie.
Yeah, I hear that movie's not great.
I thought it was not bad.
It's not bad if you haven't read the book.
Wait, have you read the book?
I have. It's weird because obviously when the book was written, most of the references in it are like 80s based, so a lot of it flew over my head. Whereas I know for the film they tweaked it. Whereas like even though it's still 80s references, it's more mainstream 80s references like Back to the Future and Jaws. So I wonder if I'd maybe like the film more because more of the references would make sense to me. I don't know.
Oh no, there was multiple sections in the film that I think both me and Quack thought were stupid. But overall, I think it was interesting because Quack, didn't you say your friend said something? What was your friend's opinion about it?
I asked him like what he think of the movie. He said like he had no idea what was going on, but he enjoyed it.
So one of those like popcorn movies.
Yeah, just watch it to be entertained, I guess, for a pop culture reference.
Yeah. So yeah, Nick, maybe you would enjoy it. Don't know.
Yeah, possibly. I think it's one of those films that if it comes out on DVD or when it turns up on Netflix or something, I might give it a watch.
Yeah.
I just my mind got blown right now when you said DVD.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of someone saying that in a while.
Sorry. At the very least, Blu-ray.
Yeah, Blu-ray. Well, I mean, I still use DVDs too. So.
Yeah. I've switched to Blu-ray because I always kind of forget the fact that the PS4 is a Blu-ray player.
Yeah. I forget that too.
And it's like and it's like really user-friendly. Like the way like all the functions are kind of tied into the PS4 controller is really nice.
We could move on to the final lap. So thank you again, Nick, for coming on to our episode.
No problem.
Do you want to talk about, give some plugs about yours?
Yeah, so, I spoke about it a little bit at the beginning, but I'll reiterate that now. Yeah, our podcast is Gamers Without Borders. You can email us at gwbpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at GWBPod. I promise we will have an episode out in the near future. I'm provisionally hoping to get something out at the end of May, but it might be pushed back a little bit. But we'll probably do what we did last time. We'll do a kind of a bumper extra long episode to kind of make up for it. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I chat about games and I should really write some articles, but again, I'm too busy. You can follow me on Twitter at another GMG blog. That's basically all I've got to plug. Just listen to everyone in the Loosely Connected network. They're all amazing podcasts, can recommend them all. So yeah, do that. There's plenty of stuff to listen to. Cool.
All right. Cool. Thank you. Clark, do you have any questions? Not questions, sorry.
No,
things to promote? Sorry, I just got a text from work because I'm on call this weekend. But they had a question. That's why I said the word question.
Oh, I think no, I think I'm good this week.
Cool. What about your friend?
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm not good this week. So my friend Vince has recently started a live streaming. He does random things, and mostly it's a foodie vlog. So his handle name is Hype Man Vince. You can find him on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I don't think he's on Twitch, but pretty much all the other ones, Facebook as well. So check him out on that. Hype Man Vince, HYPEMAN, and Vince, VINCE. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, he does really funny streams too. So sometimes he does challenges to the people that he's around.
Yep.
So like I was telling the listeners last week that he did this challenge where he went up to random people at the mall and he would say like, I'll pay you $1 if you go dance behind the other person, for a few seconds without them knowing. So it's like those kind of challenges. So it's pretty funny. So yeah, cool.
Yep.
All right. If that's all, then thank you to everyone who contributed questions this week. Not questions, but I mean answers. I keep saying questions. Sorry. Yeah. So no time for time travel. Signing off. Herdiger, Warp Speed. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
I love Power Club.
Come with me if you want to live.
I love Power Club.
No time for time travel.